name is simply Osagie. For today's purpose, an historian. So may I know your names too, starting from...
My name is Ayama Deborah Dida Bolembele.
Okay.
My name is Doris Orion.
My name is Essie Omoraga.
Itesi Samuel.
I'm Aleto Stephanie Iyoha.
I'm Dixon Esther Frank.
My name is Peculiar Olga.
My name is Mude Faith.
My name is Fashusi Alababiola.
Good. Now that we have introduced ourselves, history, they say, has to do with our past, present, and future. Even the major reason why you are here, agriculture, also have historical perspective to it. But today I will, as I was told, also center my historical discussions with you guys on the Benin invasion. Today we call it the Benin invasion, but before now the white man calls it the Benin massacre. I will tell you the difference as we move on. Before I go into the Benin invasion, one of the very oldest historical book in the world, although also religiously, is the Bible. The account of the Bible of how the world began is also very similar with Quran and other books. So based on that fact, we can actually use the Bible to talk about from the very beginning. Genesis chapter 1 says, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. For the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God moved upon the waters. And God said, let there be light. If you go further, there is a particular verse that said, for men love darkness rather than light. From the Tower of Babel, this entire earth that we have began to spread. Before Noah, people were everywhere. But after Noah and after the ark, people were just in one place. And they wanted to see the man who saved them. And they were told he's in heaven. So they decided to build story buildings so they can go and see God. And one of the very first, not one of the very first commandments, the very first commandment God gave is to replenish the earth and to multiply. Because the earth, scientifically as we know today, is very big. But those who lived then didn't know. Some of them were just in one little circle. So God wanted everyone to spread. And stay in one place called Babel there, I think somewhere around Iraq now, wasn't very pleasing to God. So that was where the different languages happened. Languages separated human beings. God caused all of them to speak different language. And language became a very big symbol of brotherhood. If I speak the same language with you, I can easily call you my brother or my sister. But the entire human race are all brothers and sisters, coming from the same source. But when language came into it, then there became a segregation and difference between human people and human race. So while they were all speaking different languages in confusion, the word come in my language in Benin is Lare. If I see another one who says Lare, I run to go and meet him. We became brothers. So those ones look for somewhere to go to. So eventually they all spread across those center area called the Middle East. And that was how God wanted it. And man began to evolve. The very first thing man engaged in is agriculture. What you are exactly doing now. Farm and animals. We also read in the Bible where Cain killed Abel for envy. That is to buttress the fact that I said before in the scriptures, for men love darkness rather than light. Noah had 3 sons. We are told historically that one was black, another was a little bit reddish, and the other one was white. The one who was white are the ones you call Europeans today. They appreciated light. But blacks, where you and I come from, loved darkness. So those who embrace light, you can define light in many ways. Technology, science, everything, purity you can talk about. But in their heart, they were humans. They were also very dark. So to expand whatever they were doing, because man always wanted to dominate the other. Always wanted to dominate, even brothers. That's why Cain killed Abel. This one wants to be number one. Everyone is putting themselves in competition in a race. So those who saw light first wanted to expand. Said, this world does not just end in this Europe or Middle East where we are. So this is my farm. If I have other people to help me do it, I'll become greater and bigger. That was how slavery came. The ones who is stronger oppresses the other ones. When brothers and brothers started oppressing each other, they started to hear news that there are other people living elsewhere. And they discovered that they were blacks. And they saw them as inferiors to them. So the Berlin Conference, after the white have discovered that there were other people who were blacks, some of these blacks, I don't want to go into that today, majority of them are lost tribes of Israel. Lost tribes of Israel. I don't want to go into that today. So they came. When they came, don't forget initially I said that these white people, they appreciated light. They followed light. That was why they could, do a lot of expansions. But in their heart also, they were also dark. Because it takes a dark person to want to dominate another. You can see the skies that the birds that are flying, you hardly see birds jam each other. The sky is big, everyone can. But man, at a point in time, always wanted to dominate. The Bible again says that the heart of a man is evil continuously. So these people were white-skinned, who appreciate light, came with dark mind. In sub-Saharan Africa, one of the very first places, sub-Saharan Africa, I mean those who are blacks in Africa. Not all Africans are black. Egyptians are Africans, Tunisians are Africans. So they are all called Africans, but those who are black are called sub-Saharan Africa. From Central Africa down to West Africa, down to South Africa. So in West Coast of Africa, one of the very first place that the white men sought to come to do business, so to say, or as they said, or to involve in trade, was a place then known as Ile Ibinu. Ile Ibinu. Before they came, everywhere they went to, in particularly Western Africa, they refer them to a king with a title, Oba. Everywhere, when I mean everywhere, including here, if they had come here, everywhere they went to, they referred to their leader as an Oba. So the white men came. When they came, the man who led the expedition, a Portuguese, he led that expedition in 1485 AD. His name is João Afonso Aveiro. João, J-O-A-O. Afonso Aveiro, a Portuguese man. When he came, he was led to the palace of the Oba in the land called Ile Ibinu. So when he came, he first of all introduced himself as a Portuguese. The Beninese could not pronounce the word Portuguese and they call it Portuguese. Till tomorrow, that's how we refer to white people till tomorrow in Benin. All whites. Because the first whites that came to sub-Saharan Africa was the Portuguese. And when we told Afonso that he also asked the name of our land, Ile Ibinu. The word Benin is not an English word. It's not also an Edo word. It's a Portuguese language. So Ile Ibinu looks like the word Benin in their land. And in their land, the word Benin means hospitality. So while we're trying to press the name of our town to Afonso, he just called it Benin. After all, they look alike. Ile Ibinu, he just called it Benin. And that was how the name Benin Kingdom or Benin Empire or Benin City came all about. He presented gifts. You can see the red beads worn by almost the whole of south, in fact, the entire southern Nigeria, these red beads. The first person that presented it was Afonso to Oba Ewai in 1485 AD. 1485 AD. And the bead was an exclusive reserve of the Oba alone. Today you can buy beads everywhere. The beads only resides only in the palace. When the white man comes, they go to give it to the Oba. So if you have done well in Benin, the Oba wants to appreciate you, gives you a bead. And once the Oba gives you a bead, it's like you are a big chief. Everyone in the society respects you. Ah, that man was given bead by the Oba. It was not owned by any other person. Oba revere no one. Being interpreted, it is only the Oba that gives out bead. So these white people who appreciated light, but who was also dark inside of them, came with those precious things. And also told us that they needed something from us. Ivory, brass, which is now called bronze. This is what I'm wearing now. The white man didn't teach us how to do this. Even though we were blacks and we were inside darkness, Benin, at that particular point in time, have started appreciating light. The white man didn't teach us science, not art. We started making iron. Iron is a scientific process. The Beninese have started doing it before the white man came. This is an iron. It's a bronze. It's almost like also iron. You don't get it on the street. It is from the ground. The Beninese have started creating them. So they love them. They wanted to take them. So they exchanged guns. The Beninese were warriors. They love fight. They love to conquer other cities. And also, same way the white man came trying to act like he's coming to trade. But whereas what brought him is to make all of us slaves. Since they cannot walk, they don't have strength. And they saw that we were having strength. Let us pack all these people to our land and make them slaves in our sugarcane farm, in our cotton farm and all of that. But they couldn't do that because the Beninese had so much soldiers. So they went back home and said, we can't make these people slaves. We must first of all be friends with that Oba. Otherwise, if we go to anywhere in particularly in southern Nigeria, or because as at that time it was this southern Nigeria that had major population in West Africa, the rest were just scanty. If we don't make friends with him and we go to take anybody from his land, he will fight us. So they became friends with the Oba. And the second Olu of Warri, Domingo, Anthony Domingo, was actually born by a white woman. Because the first Olu of Warri was the first son of an Oba of Benin, whom the Beninese rejected and said they would never allow him to become Oba. So the father took him and said, go to the River April, you'll meet the white people there. And eventually married the white man who gave birth to Antonio Domingo. So the Beninese and the Portuguese now begin to have some kind of romance of trade. It took the Portuguese some time. While we were having this good romance of trade, the Portuguese were not really very harsh. But it came to a time that the Portuguese king, who was the most powerful then in Europe, died. And he had no son. I know kingship all over the world, or in major cities all over the world, it has to be from son to son. Although in some few African lands here, we have a female, and even in Europe, but majorly it was son to son. And when he had no son, his daughter, the Spanish prince, married his daughter. And when the man died, the king of Spain died, the prince of Spain became king, and the king of Spain now became the king of Portugal. So Portugal, as at them, didn't have the strength to come back to Africa with all those trade, because the daughter had no such powers. And the king of Spain was a little bit harsh, was different from the king of Portugal. It was the king of Spain who told Britain and everything that there's so much trade in sub-Saharan Africa. And Britain came. Britain and France are terrible people. While Portugal have, trade normally with us, I give you some, you give us some. In economy, it's called trade by barter. Britain were in a hurry to pack everybody here to go and do their farm. But when they came, they discovered that the Oba of Benin had about 180,000 warriors who are ready to, just one wind, so boom, they are ready to fight. So they went back to tell the queen and said, we cannot fight him. We must also first of all befriend him. So it took Britain 400 years to study the Benin kingdom on how to destroy them. But before then, slave trade has begun, taking our people to Britain for farm, putting them like in this place now. Majorly it was cassava farm, where they put nail for fire and put them for their mouth to put hole like earring, then put padlock. You walk finish, you cannot eat. You can walk a whole day, no food. Those who were not strong enough died. Those who were strong enough survived. Brothers started to betray brothers. If my younger brother is so harsh, and my father's land is dragging it with me, I just plan with Britons, the white people. While he's sleeping in his bed, they capture and carry, go put for sheep. They come out and become free with my father's land. We started betraying ourselves. They saw us as big fools. They were laughing at us. But they enjoyed the trip because it was good for them. But because man always wants to dominate man, they weren't happy coming to just do trade with us and taking permission with one black man. The white man actually, at that point in time, did not see black as humans. We were just thinking we were a little bit above animals. So why would I come and making one king there taking permission? So they wanted to overthrow him. Why are we discussing the Benin kingdom or the invasion of Benin? It is actually the fall of Benin or the Benin massacre. You might say, I'm not from Benin, we're going to concern whether they fall Benin. It was the fall of Benin that became the fall of almost the entire black race. Because it was the Beninese that had the power of the black people then. Let me digress a little, or stay in the same line. When Benin was captured in 1897, the Oba then died in 1914. Even though the Benin was captured in 1897, Britain could not have a country called Nigeria. Nigeria became a country historically in 1914 after Overamen died. Even when he was captured, they still feared when he was still alive. That we were ruled by Britain for get it better in 1960. It was because Benin fell. If Benin did not fall, white man for not rule us. They were persistent. Every time they go come palace, Other Obas like Osemede, Oba Adolo, they were very tolerant with the white man. It came to a time where an Oba came whose name was Uvorami. History has it that he was a very harsh Oba too. He was tired of this white man and the demand, because Benin needs those warriors and sleep, because most of the people they were taking, they were strong men who could also walk here. We are taking all of them from here. So he too was tired of that relationship. And he used to complain to his chiefs. So on one of the occasions, about 20 or 30 white men came to the palace. And the Oba was having what we call Agwe Festival. This Agwe Festival, I do not know the time limit, because the last Agwe Festival that was done in Benin is in 1959 or 1957, I can't remember. Just this month or last month now, that same festival was done in Benin by this current Oba. It's not a yearly something. I don't know what informed it. It takes time to be done. It is a very special ceremony. It is not Igwe. Igwe Festival is done yearly, every December. It's the major celebration in Benin. But this one is called Agwe. I don't know the time frame. It could be 50 years time. It could be any time. There's a traditional way they look at it for the celebration. That time the Oba of Rama was doing this celebration. The white men also came. And they like to use force. They said they want to see the Oba. And the Oba said he cannot see visitors at this particular point in time. So he sent about 4 chiefs, who was headed by Olobusere. Said, go tell the white man that after this festival, I will come to see them. So the white man asked, what is the duration of the festival? They said they don't know. It's a traditional stuff. Until the traditional ceremony is over, the Oba will not come out. They were angry. And they spoke in high tone with the chiefs. Chief Olobusere was a warrior. When you hear Benin warriors, it is not just with arrow. They were strong in charms. Nothing enters their body. So you know when a man is powerful, the tendency of being harsh is there. After all, if you do me anything. And the white man just come and trying to bully them. They just cut off their head. 8 of them. They just cut off their head. And say, you cannot be coming to this palace and be dictating to us what to do. So the rest escaped and went back to Britain and told the queen and said, we were killed by that strong Oba of Benin. So Britain has said, it don't too take. We have always wanted to destroy that kingdom so we can hold the entire black race in our hands, or Nigeria in our hands. So they brought soldiers. And some other tribes in Nigeria that I don't want to talk about, particularly from the north, joined them. That tribe, I don't want to mention the name of the tribe, their origins from Arab. Arabs have knowledge of what the white man is because we don't know what gun can do then. We used to use bow and arrow, sword and everything. We didn't know that you should just carry one gun, face somebody, don't die once. So Arabs have seen white men war before. So that tribe in Nigeria, in the northern part of Nigeria, knows that you get one thing where white man they hold. So why the Benins were still holding sway here, didn't bow down to the white man. That tribe did not bow down to Britain long time ago. So Britain brought their soldiers and added their own. But before then, Benin, there's what we call moat in Benin. You can go, it's the first wonder in the world. The Benin moat. Before now, at a point in time, they said the wall of China is the first wonder. But if you go now, you see that the Benin moat is the first wonder. That is, what they mean is that God created this earth. You can see mountains sometimes. You are traveling to some place, you can see rock. You see the wonders of God. But the one that man by themselves did that looks like it was like God who did it. It's what they call some 7 wonders of the world. And Benin one is still the number 1 till tomorrow. Moat. If you have been to Benin before, you still see some of this moat around Bobahi and all of that. Some of them still look scary. Those moats are over 100 years. Some of them are over 200-300 years. Some of them is over 600-700 years because the first Obada dog moat is about Ogwala, and that one is about 700 to 800 years ago. And some of those moats still exist. If you dig well for here now, after 50 years, that way you not come see them again. No? Erosion, some other things don't enter. So to still see those moats currently in Benin shows that they were very deep. Very deep. How did the Benins do that? There's no caterpillar. It's very easy now for you to think that if you want to dig anything out, just look at it. How do you use your hand to dip something that is like 5,000 feet down? How did they do it? With cutlass? The Benins were strong in what is called juju. Juju. They can hit their leg in this place and with incantation, the place fall over and just go inside. Your hand not go feed one. And some were using hand and everything, but some were very powerful, did it, and their names were recorded in history as great warriors. That moat was to prevent people from conquering Benin. So that if you pack soldiers, if you reach the valley, you will stop. The white men, only few of them could enter into the valley and climb and come out. They came in very large force, large number. If that large number have entered Benin, maybe in one day, they would have wiped the entire Benin. But because the moat was able to prevent a number of them, they couldn't climb, they stayed. The few that came, gun was a very powerful thing. And they brought out guns. And they started to kill. That Benin ran away. It got to a point that they even stopped killing. They have these little, small grenade of those days. Forgotten the name they call it then. They just threw it on top of a house. The house would be on fire. Benin was not just conquered. Benin was burnt to the ground, including the palace of the Benin Kingdom. Before they burnt the Benin Kingdom, there was a man called Asoro. If you have been to Benin from Sapmamba Road, the man his statue is there. He was a very strong man. Even the white man's gun did not enter his body. They shoot him, the thing not enter. He was killing the white man with his arrow. The white man were very sensible. I want to talk about women, and I hope we that are here, that are women, will grow above such sentiments of fine things. I know women love fine things, but all that glitters are not good. They saw that the man was so powerful, and the man was almost at the gate of the palace. They burnt Benin, but they couldn't see the Oba. The Oba was hiding inside the palace there. They needed to pass through this man and just go to the palace and pick the Oba and any other person there. The man was standing between them. If they shoot him, they're going on here. With just a 4-4 body throw away. They went to meet his wife and told him the man is becoming a disturbance. They want him dead. The woman said, how can you come and make me want my husband dead? They gave the woman so many gifts. First among them, like I said before, when I was there, is a mirror. To you, how can a mirror be a gift? What is a mirror? Because you are living in a modern world now. In those days, nobody see their face unless through water. You put water for pot. You look on there. But the mirror gives you a very clean, to see who you are. So they give the woman mirror. And as at then, mirror only existed in the palace. The Portuguese were the ones that gave it to the Oba of Benin. So she was privileged to have a mirror. And several other gifts. And they told her to please. They know that since these things that they are doing, they are shooting, trying to kill the husband. So as the wife, you must know the secret. The wife eventually told the white men the secret. That they have to perform some rituals. Told them to kill okburu, May chicken, May fowl, or whatever, okburu. When they kill it, told them what to do in the chicken, just slaughter it into two and all of that, and put it in Fort Junction. In Benin, Fort Junction is called Adanine. And leave they told the white men what to do, and leave the okburu there for 3 days. And after 3 days, if the okburu does not rise back, then that means the thing does not work. But if the okburu rise back and crow again, then they should go and shoot the man again. But before they shoot him, they should first of all shoot his shadow. Then before they shoot him. So they did all that with the okburu, you see hen they call mayfowl or cock. So they took the cock to Adanine, Fort Junction, and slaughter was done. And in 3 days, the cock came back to life again and crew. Then they believed that what the woman told them was true. So they went to the man, shot his shadow, and shot him. Like Wole Soyinka wrote a book, the man died. And they went into our palace. Before the Briton came to fight war, like in politics in Nigeria today, we often say our presidency always go to America before election, trying to go to Britain. They don't have any help to give to you. What American policy talks about is trade by barter. If we can't help Nigeria, now what we go gain? What are we going to gain? They don't do anything free. So if anybody tomorrow come to campaign to you, this man is very influential in Britain, influential in America, it's all bullshit. Before the Britons came here, the soldiers who came here before had already told their queen that because for Britain to bring all their soldiers and sheep, it takes money. It takes a lot of weight. If they don't get that weight back, they may be poor. So they told them that if we don't conquer them, that's when we will be poor. But if we're able to conquer them, the Beninese have so much weight that if we take them, we'll be the richest in the world. One of such was this. Festac head. This thing has made more money to Britain than any mineral resources till tomorrow. I hear Beninese and sometimes fighting say, oh, we'll go and collect it from them. In my own opinion, I don't think in this lifetime Britain will ever give it to us. They stole it. For those who have been to British Museum, they call it British Museum, but the artifacts there are Benin this thing. It should have been written on top of it, Benin Museum. So they took all those things, they stole it and took it back. So when they took it back home, they knew that, wow, this one is going to take care of the cost of the war and built a place for it, for people to come and be looking at them. They sold some to some states in America like Texas with very huge amount of money. Even that one alone took care of all the money they used in fighting war in Benin. In other words, before the white man came, the Beninese were very rich. That's why they also call us the eye opener to the black world. That if the white man did not come, the Beninese would have given civilization to the black world. But again, so they went back home. I said the difference between invasion and the Benin massacre. When we killed 8 of their soldiers, they went back home and they called it the Benin massacre. That is, the Benin killed our people. But we have changed it now that we didn't kill your people in your land. You came to look for trouble, look for our slaves, look for our gold, look for our this, look for our that. So we couldn't bear it anymore. And some of you were killed. And you people brought your soldiers to come and invade us. Therefore, it was not actually a massacre. It was an invasion. And after the Benin fell, they wanted to also remove our Oba. They wanted to give it to one of the chiefs in Benin who was very friendly with them. Did I mention that name now? So that chief, at a point in time in Benin, was a daye. A daye means like a regent. You are not king, but you are in the position of a king for some time during the time Benin was invaded. Benin is the only land in the world. The only land in the world. In the world. You see that Queen of England? The first king of England. Not be Peking day for that throne of England today. Oftentimes in Britain, houses in Britain, they don't rule more than 3-4 times. Another strong man will come from somewhere. Either the greatest warrior in the army, will just either kill the king and become king. Or the wife of the king will fall in love with the greatest warrior and say, my king is just a munyamuna, you really the whole this nation. And be sleeping with him, and the child will be that of the warrior, not that of the king. So most of the kingdoms in Europe, all of them, the blood don't mix. Even in Egypt, who is the most ancient city in the world, it is not the first pharaoh that is still there now. But in Benin, the first Ogiso of Benin Kingdom was called Igodo. In 40 BC, before Jesus Christ came to this world, the Benin existed. And the first king came 40 years before Jesus Christ was born. He named the land Igodo. Benin have had names. The first name we had is Idu land. Idu. If you watch Igbo movies, they always use this. Idu. Then from there, it was called Otefare Mei. Then from there, it was called Igodo. That man's blood, 40 years before Jesus Christ was born. Then after 2,000 years, that man's blood is still the one that is still on the throne there. No mystery. It has been from son to son to son to son. Benin king must born boy. There are other kings all over the world. After they not fit born boy, the kingdom change. Once you born girl, the man will marry the girl. Then he will become king. Don't enter another family with that. The Benin king must born boy. If they not fit born boy, they will find a way to create it. It is only one time they had problem that they had one boy, which is the story that led to the Yoruba, Ododo and all of that, which is not for today. But why I'm bringing this issue of kings is that why the Britain, after the invasion, wanted to also remove the lineage of the king and throw it elsewhere, even though they were able to conquer us, they were not able to do that. They wanted to install that chief as king. The Benin refused. They didn't attend the ceremony, nothing. They fought against it. And the white man said, okay, because the first son of Ovora man, who became Obaeweka too, also went to hide himself since his father was taken. But when they wanted to install another person as king, and they discovered that the Benin did not allow it, they now told him to come from exile. So he was now made king. And the other man that the white people favored was now made the biggest chief as the prime minister of Benin Kingdom. When you have a president, you have a prime minister. He now became the biggest chief called Iyase of Benin Kingdom. See, tomorrow, that fall of Benin, blacks are still suffering it. Nigeria is still suffering it. We both came here and looked everything. To tomorrow, our all year in this place, if you think the Igbo people still do not have connection there, you are lying. Most of the companies, Chevron, wherever, they are owned by them. They are still eating from us. They were able to grab us the day Benin fell. Does anybody who have anything to say so far? Like a question or anything as I round up? I'm sure 30 minutes is over since. As I round up. If there is no question, it means I was a bad teacher.
Thank you, sir. I want to know if the Iyase of Benin Kingdom, if it is still bloodline, is it still by bloodline, or is it elected or selected, or is it from son to son too?
The Iyase of Benin Kingdom, thank you for the question. It's a very powerful question. The Iyase of Benin Kingdom is actually the first among all the chiefs, or the biggest, arguably the biggest, because there are some chiefs that will not allow it, like Olia and Isogman. They will also tell you that, hey, they are the honor, but arguably the biggest. To answer your question in one simple word, it is not hereditary. It is not hereditary because the Benin kings were very wise. If you are next to me in line, and my son, they take over this throne, your own son, they take over this. So one day you push my son, come on for that place. And you will enter. So to keep the Benin throne, they ensure that the next in line was not hereditary. If the Iyase dies, the Oba appoints another notable person in the town and make him Iyase. That was a good question. Okay. Next one.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir, you talked about the Benin moat. Like, I once heard about it that you said the Benin people were very good in shams. They used shams to open the place.
Everything was shams.
But when I was in school, I was taught that they used their hands to dig. So I want you to clarify more on that.
I said that they use their hands to dig it. But as a human being, as you do here, so does it make sense to your common sense that people... Have you seen anybody well, little well? They use her hand to dig them like 25 feet. No. Hand, human beings have. Does it make sense to you?
No.
So you should know that the Beninese will not write it in books that they use juju. You want them to write that one in books?
No, sir.
Don't you know that you've read the Bible where Moses put his rod in the river? What's that river called? River Nile. And splintered into two. If they were to use boat to pack the water, will it make sense to you and say the people went there and used the water to pack the water?
Yes, sir.
It took power. But do you know that the Beninese did that same thing? How do you think that the Beninese went to several kingdoms in Ghana, in the Republic of Benin, and several other places in West Africa, conquering them through seas? How did we get to Lagos? There were times the Beninese also encamped rivers and they parted. Those who dug the moat in Benin were warriors. Some of them took different little things to try to do it. But the most outstanding ones were really strong men who could encamp a place and you must have watched some Nigerian movies and see some film tricks and see some words and everything. So that was how it was done. It was actually powers that dug the moat. That's why it's the first wonder in the world, because if you look at it, even now, it looks as if it was how God created it.
So my question is, what do you think Nigeria, let me just say, what do you think the black can do to get back all the things that we've lost?
We are blacks, and we belong to a country called Nigeria now. The Benin's or the Benin Kingdom is not a country. is just a city inside a state with less power to dictate or decide how what they lost will come. If we want to get what we lost, it will take the president of Nigeria, who oftentimes is not a Benin man or has never been a Benin man. And when you say such ideas to them, they are less interested. After that, they bring up their village, they want to put them. Because Nigeria will still move along tribal lines. We don't see ourselves as one. After all, if those things come, all those people, when they go Britain, they pay money, they enter the museum, they will come here and it will increase tourism and all of that. But until we are one as a nation, we cannot truly, get the things we are lost. Aside those artifacts, there are other things we lost. Dignity. Dignity. The white man still sees the black man as a nobody. Until Nigeria is the symbol of black people in the world. Even if all black nations in the world are poor, if Nigeria is good today, the white man will respect the black man everywhere in the world. And Benin is the heartbeat of Nigeria. So until we are one, having one mind, there is no Robo, there is no Igbo, there is no Benin. We just see ourselves as one, working towards one goal. Achieving what we have lost might be very difficult. What is the essence of this old teaching? For you as a black woman to know your roots. You might say you are not a Benin person, but the Benin was the eye opener for all blacks. The Ijos at one time, in one thing that I read, they said the Britain didn't defeat them. It was the Benin that was defeated. And I told some of them that Britain didn't need to defeat you. The day they defeated Benin, you were defeated. They also came to own your land. They went there, they went everywhere. So the day Benin fell, every other black nation, particularly in West Coast of Africa, fell.
I just want to get something straight, sir. Asoro, the strong man you talked about, that was strong physically and spiritually, was he protecting himself and his family, or he was protecting the king?
The Oba.
Okay, the Oba.
You see, warriors in Benin were selfless. I wish our ministers and commissioners, and I like this question, I wish our ministers and commissioners and government aides would be like the warriors in Benin. Let me tell you something, there is a parable in Benin, the Oba is never wrong. Yes, the Oba is never wrong. Even if he does anything that is wrong, that you think, oh, this one is wrong. There are warriors and chiefs in the palace that will go out and say, now we do them. Do you know what they do? They cover the Oba. So that you look at him as a deity. He's never wrong. They'll go and say, now we do the thing. If you even carry gun want to shoot them, they will die. Why die? They say, now we do one. That is what is called loyalty. The Benin warrior, once anything happens, will not remember whether he has a family. He goes straight to protect the king first. Because if the king falls, even his family will fall. I wish our government and leaders of today have such loyalty. That was a good question.
Okay. So you said the first place the European came to do trade was Elebono. And you said the word Benin is not an English name or a Benin name, is a Portuguese name. My question is this. Why are the scholars in Nigeria still saying that the first place the Europeans came was Benin? Why not using the original name, that is Elebono? Because I found out that all the textbooks, and when you Google it online, you still see Benin there.
You must have heard this word, dynamism.
Yes, sir.
When a white man came, even though their heart was dark, as I said, they came with light, gifts, things you have never seen before. So that relationship, that friendship, whether the Beninese were strong or not, they were like a senior brother. First, the Beninese in the whole of Africa were the first to use gun to fight. The Ida War is a place in Kogi State that the Beninese fought. The Beninese used gun. That was in 16th century, 1550 something or so. We used gun. Ida, the place Mercy Johnson came from, they ran away. Why did all that happen? Because we had a relationship with a white man. We took some of their things. So that relationship, to me, they were like a senior brother. So if they could not pronounce the word Ile Benin, And they just say, Le Benin, they said Benin. Don't forget, we also made that same mistake. Even though, because we are not the rulers of the world now, the white men are the rulers of the world, they told us that they were Portuguese, and we call them Portuguese. There is a street in Benin, very popular if you have ever been to Benin, it's called Akbava. Have you been to, any of you have been to Benin?
Yes, sir.
You know the street called Akbava?
I know Akbava.
What's the meaning of Akbava? You don't, because you can't know. It is actually not a Benin name. What is Akbava? But because there is KP, because the Benin pronunciation has KP, the Beninese pronounced it with their own way. It is not, because the first church, which we are trying to correct, if you Google it now, you will not find it there. The Yorubas wrote it that the first church is in Badagry. But actually, the first church in Sub-Saharan Africa was built in Benin. It's called Aosa Church in Akbava. All the Obas who have ruled Benin Kingdom, one of them was a Christian. It's called Obaisigi. Because he actually also, he was a man that sent the first black man, not as slave, but as an envoy, as a diplomat, to the white people. He had an education. He was baptized. So he brought these Catholic people to build a church in Benin. Today that church is in Akbaba. It's called Holy Aosa Church. That church is dated 500 something years old now. The road where they pass enter the church is called Akbava. Do you know the word, the meaning of Akbava? Yes, Papa's Va. Papa, Reverend Father, is called Papa. Where Papa they stay. Benin call it Akbava. So you cannot also quarrel with the white man who call it Lebinu Benin. Language difference, to understand languages was difficult. Okay. So I corrupted yours, you corrupted mine.
I still want to know why are the scholars here using the Benin not instead of...
We like the name. The name Benin in Portugal. Don't forget the name Ile Benin means anger. Okay. Yes, anger. People of vexation. The Benis are very like war, they like to fight. Not now. The Benis are very most peaceful state in Nigeria. You can't argue that. You know. So as at then, we are people of vexation. So won't you like if your name is changed to a better one? Jacob to Israel, Saul to Paul, and the one they gave to you is hospitality, because when the white man came, we actually gave them food, we sat them down, they enjoyed, and they called us people of hospitality.
I'd like to ask, if the Benin Kingdom had so much powers, and then why is it that they couldn't, the man couldn't also use his powers to actually make his wife not to reveal the secret, because that is what actually brought down the kingdom. For
use his, I just another question I want to ask. Use his power to tell his wife not to.
Yes, because it's so.
You don't do that to keep the fight. I don't hear the question. Now, I want to use power to tell. Secret is a secret. If you want your power to be strong, you don't tell it out to another person now. You talk and come out, you don't finish now. Now you and that person, I get the power. The day where you just say, where did they worry that guy say, where did they do anything else? I'll injure him, we talk and come out, you are finished now. If it's no longer a secret, then the power is no longer absolute. A secret is a secret. You can't hold. I don't tell you, say, my nyash they leak every 2 o'clock. And I only want to know. And every 2 o'clock, I always do some activities. People even celebrate the activities with me. They don't know say my nyash they leak. Then you can go tell them, say, that thing one of the says, my nyash they leak, they're going to catch me. They have the rest for the activity now. If you want something to be powerful and sacred, don't tell your mama, don't tell your husband, don't tell your pikin. Let it die inside your heart there. The day it comes out, it's not that absolute. No power can. Adam was a very strong man too. If not for lamb.
So one more question. Means, in essence, if you check from the Garden of Eden, women were actually the ones.
I don't know anything about that. You are a woman, you can solve that by yourself. Next question.
You said something about, in the beginning when you were talking, the first thing you said was that Jesus Christ caused, this is Jesus or God, caused them to start speaking different languages. Now I want to know if you meant caused as in C-A-S-U-E-D or caused as in C-U.
Not ebo, not juju, not just this phrase.
C-A-S-U-S-E.
Not that juju. Sorry, ma.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, I want to ask, please don't be offended. You said the Asuru, which is close to the Oba, is a powerful person. So how come he wasn't able to detect that the Britons were coming after them?
No man is God. Let me, I shouldn't go here, but let me ask a question. Have you heard of the name Achilles? Did you watch a movie called Troy?
Yes, sir.
You've heard the name Achilles?
Yes.
No man is God. Only God is actually strong. No human being is strong. If you are strong, it's a certain level. God raises, if you read some music, say men rise and fall. You were here when Obasanjo was president, right? Yeah, that was president. Jonathan was president. All those Obasanjo, they are falling. No man stays up there, and only God is there one place. Just stay there, and not they move. Man is ups and down. Achilles was a strong man. When they born him, you will not see that in the movie. When they born him, if you read the book, you see it. When they born him, the mother took him to a native doctor. Say, I want my son to be strong. The mother was also a priest, very strong person. He said, I want nothing to kill him, nothing. Then the native doctor now said, you will dip this child in the river. Let water cover all the body. Once water cover all the body and you bring and come out, nothing will touch his body from head to toe. If nothing touches his body from head to toe, that means he's going to live forever. He's going to be the strongest. Nobody can do it. But there was, to let you know that no man is God, there was an exception. So why put him in the water, hand where you take care and put, and sure say the hand not touch water? Because you are not God. So the mother had his leg somewhere here like this. Hold lamb, put the whole body, leave there alone. It was there, he was shot. In English language, go it or look for dictionary, Achilles heel. It's called your weak point. No man is God. Absolutely was just a mere mortal.
So you said the fall of Benin began the fall of the black race. When you mean black race, is it Nigeria or the entire Africa?
First of all, I want to say Nigeria.
Okay.
Nigeria is the most populous black nation in the world. When you write exam, you get 70 over 100. The white man said you are excellent. You know what excellent means? It's like you know everything.
Yes, sir.
So if the larger percent of blacks fell under that fall, then we can also say the black race fell by percentage. The contestant had a time out with me while I discussed the issue of the Great Benin Invasion, which the United Kingdom, the British people, the English people called the Benin Massacre. So I gave them a detailed analysis of how, from the very onset of how the white men came into our land, like they were coming to help, not knowing that they actually needed us, not as co-partners, but as slaves in their farm, and eventually to conquer us and have our land to themselves. The contestants, they were all brilliant people. Some of them asked me questions that there is this word that an actor prepares. If I wasn't prepared, I would have been just stuttering and all of that. So, but they were very intelligent. They were very intelligent people with intelligent questions, and that some of those questions created other inroads to other better analysis of the entire discussion.